Commander, we have now come to a new special order of business, the election of national officers. National Judge Advocate Phil Underdonk will read the rules of convention governing the nomination and election of officers.
Thank you, Commander. If I may, as a point of personal privilege, I just want to thank everyone who sent the nice cards, letters, and wishes during my illness this past winter. Thank you. Rules for election of national officers. Rule 15, final sentence. Election of national officers shall be by roll call. Rule 17, prior to the election of national officers, the national commander shall appoint, subject to approval of the convention, a judge of election and such number of tellers as he deems necessary, provided that the total tellers so appointed shall be an odd number. In a contested election, each candidate going to the ballot shall be entitled to one teller of his choice. Rule 18, nominations for national officers shall be from the floor on roll call of the departments alphabetically arranged. Each department may present as many candidates as it chooses. Rule 19, nominating speeches for national officers shall be limited to 5 minutes each. Not more than 2 seconding speeches shall be made for any candidate, and said speeches shall be limited to 3 minutes. Rule 20, when more than 2 candidates are nominated for any office, balloting shall continue until one candidate receives a majority of the votes of the convention, except in the election of national vice commanders. Rule 21, in a contested election for national vice commanders, balloting shall continue until A, majorities, and B, pluralities are established for one or more candidates under the following provisions. If, on any ballot taken, less than 5 candidates receive the necessary majority to elect, the candidate or candidates receiving a majority vote shall be declared elected, and a new ballot shall be taken for the remaining number of places to be filled. The candidate receiving the lowest number of votes on the preceding ballot shall be disqualified, except should 2 candidates remain to fill one place, a new ballot shall be taken. Rule 22, the convention will nominate and elect a national commander and 5 national vice commanders in this sequence. Rule 23, at the conclusion on balloting of national vice commanders, each department delegation chairman shall deliver a written ballot to the tellers. Such ballots shall be in the hands of the tellers before communication is made to the national commander for announcement of the results. Mr. Commander, that completes the reading of the rules pertaining to the election of national officers.
Thank you, Judge Advocate. As chairman of this convention, I now appoint as judge of the election Dale D. Chapman, Adjutant, Department of Virginia, and as tellers of the election David W. Salick, Adjutant, Department of Nebraska, Pat Lafferty, Adjutant, Department of Michigan, and Don Epperson, Adjutant, Department of Oregon. Will the judge and tellers of the election please come forward? National Adjutant Daniel S. Wheeler will now call the roll of the departments. The purpose of the roll call is to receive nominations for the National Commander of the American Legion.
Alabama.
Mr. Commander, I'm Wayne Stacy, Chairman of the delegation for the great state of Alabama, that state that produces football national champions. At this time, Alabama would like to yield to another great football state, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Mr. Commander, Dave Bruckner, Delegation Chairman from the state of Nebraska. Mr. Commander, I request that the chair recognize Robert Craig for the purpose of making a nomination for the high office of National Commander.
Granted.
Mr. Commander, past national commanders, national officers, fellow delegates, and distinguished guests. I am Bob Craig, a duly elected and registered delegate from the Department of Nebraska. I have a friend. I met him in 1978 in New Orleans at the 60th National Convention of the American Legion. Although we were both from Nebraska and I had heard his name, we had never met before. And here we were, assigned to be roommates. He wasn't in the room when I arrived, but I noticed the open closet contained denim jeans and a pair of cowboy boots. I wondered just what kind of man my roommate was. Well, here we are, 36 years later, at yet another national convention, only now I know what kind of man he is, and I'm certain most of you do too. I have a friend, and his name is Mike Helm. This friend and I have traveled many a road together in the past nearly 4 decades. We have both remained very active in this great organization in our own ways and through different callings. While I joined our department staff the very next year after we met, Mike, an Army veteran of service during the Vietnam era, took an entirely different path. My friend Mike was already a busy young man in his community, having joined the same American Legion post his father belonged to in the small country town of Lebanon, Nebraska. He went right to work in his post, and like some other officers here can relate to, was elected adjutant nearly immediately. I'm sure you know the rest of the story. He has spent a lifetime serving our American Legion in a wide range of appointed and elected offices at every level of our organization. Along the way, both my friend and I have married, raised families, and retired from satisfying and productive careers. And we've also been blessed to share the experience and comradeship of our fellow American military veterans through our participation in the American Legion. Mike has served us very effectively at the national level, on the executive committee, as a national vice commander, and through several commission appointments and chairmanships. He has recently completed traveling the nation and visiting with you in your own departments for the past couple of years. His credentials are impeccable, and his approach to every assignment has been of measured and positive action. You know him and are well aware of his qualifications. Mike has also been a stalwart friend and mentor to me as I worked many years for this organization. And now it is my extreme opportunity to endorse and affirm Mike for his many talents and abilities in research, organization, mentorship, leadership, and action, all with a teaching, loving, and caring attitude to those he leads and serves. Today, I know who that young man with those denim jeans and cowboy boots I met those many years ago has become. He is a family man, a community man. He is a selfless, giving man. He is a church man. He is a teaching man. He is a man with servant spirit. He is a man of consistency and of action, and he is a man possessing great leadership skills. Mike Helm is the man ready and capable to stay on course in leading the American Legion to greater national service as we prepare to enter our second century of veterans still serving America. He is poised for the challenge before him. Yes, my friend and I have experienced this life journey across the years, and he has shared his love of God and country with each of us. It's very easy to understand why Mike Helm has distinguished himself as a friend to all of us. Therefore, it is my humble honor and privilege to place in nomination for the high office of National Commander of the American Legion the name of our good friend and great Legionnaire, Nebraska's own Michael D. Helm. Thank you.
Alaska.
Mr. Commander, Ernest King, Chairman of Delegate from Alaska. Mr. Commander, Alaska yields to South Dakota.
Mr. Commander, Rick McDonald, Chairman of the delegation from South Dakota. Mr. Commander, I request that the chair recognize N.E. Seaman Paul Evenson for the purpose of seconding the nomination for the high office of National Commander.
Chair recognizes Paul Evenson.
National Commander Dellinger, fellow delegates, and distinguished guests. I am Paul Evenson, a duly registered delegate from the Department of South Dakota. I am truly honored to come before you today to second the nomination of not only a great friend, but a father, a husband, and an outstanding Legionnaire. Mike and his family epitomize the qualities of a true American Legion family. Mike began his Legion career in the same post as his father, John, a World War II veteran in Post 313 of Lebanon, Nebraska. Mike's wife, Debbie, is an active auxiliary member who has served as a district president and as Department Junior Activities Chairman. Mike and Debbie have 5 children, and they have all been involved in either the Sons of the American Legion or the Junior Auxiliary. We all have watched Mike and Debbie's children as they have grown up, because it was always a huge priority for the Helm children to attend national conventions, Washington conferences, and other Legion functions to witness the American Legion at work. The Helm children are high achievers. They have been taught strong Midwestern family values, and they know the importance of service to their God, their country, and their family. Son Aaron and his wife Robbie are graduates of West Point and are both serving with the 69th Air Defense Artillery in Kuwait. Daughter Becky and husband Jaron are graduates of Kansas State and reside in San Antonio, Texas. Jacob is now a senior at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs and has his eye on a jet. Matthew is beginning his senior year at Kansas State and is in the Army ROTC program. And Timothy is a senior at Decatur High School. Mike has also always mentored other youth by serving in his church as an active officer and as a catechist, being a 4-H leader and serving as a Cub Scout and Boy Scout Scoutmaster. Mike's qualities as a son, a husband, a father, and as a Legionnaire make it very clear. His dedication and commitment to everything in his life will make him an outstanding American Legion commander. It is with great pride that I second the nomination of Mike Helm for the high office of National Commander.
I now call on the National Adjutant for the continuation of roll call.
Arizona.
Mr. Commander, Judy Beischel, delegation chairman from Arizona. Arizona was the American Legion's first Veterans Crisis Command Center. Mr. Commander, Arizona yields to Oregon.
Oregon.
Mr. Commander, I am Mike Morris, Chairman of the delegation from Oregon. Mr. Commander, I request that the chair recognize Charlie Schmidt for the purpose of seconding the nomination for the high office of National Commander.
Chair recognizes Charlie Schmidt.
Commander Dellinger, past national commanders, national officers, delegates and alternates to the 96th National Convention, my fellow Legionnaires, guests, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm Charles Schmidt, delegate from the Department of Oregon. It is a special honor to stand before you this morning in support of a remarkable American who proudly and honorably served our nation as a soldier in the United States Army during the Vietnam era. A veteran who has, for 43 years, unselfishly given of himself in service to the American Legion, and a Legionnaire who is prepared and ready to accept the highest honor our organization can bestow on any one of our members, that of National Commander of the American Legion. Candidate Michael D. Helm comes to us by way of the Department of Nebraska. Mike has spent his entire life in the Midwest, with the exception of his time in his military service. Midwesterners are often described as those who embrace hard work and opportunity, those who never waver in the face of adversity, and those who never stop believing in the promise of America. Mike Helm has carried these values throughout his life, and many more that he has acquired along life's journeys. All have served him well as a soldier, a postman, a Legionnaire, and as a husband and a father. And I have no doubt that they will serve him well as National Commander as well. By his service to his post, county, district, department, and our national organization, as we have just heard, Mike Helm will bring over 4 decades of Legion service and experience to the office of National Commander. I have observed his leadership abilities on numerous occasions as he served as our National Vice Commander, as Nebraska's National Executive Committeeman and alternate, as chairing our National VANR and Foreign Relations Commissions, and serving on several other important national committees and commissions. Consistently, I see Mike Helm's dedication and energy, his confidence, vision, and that Midwest unwavering commitment to our 4 pillars, our 5 cardinal principles, and to the 10 enduring phrases of our Constitution's preamble. Mike Helm is primed to confront the challenges that may lay ahead for the American Legion. We have already experienced challenges that have tested our resolve: sequestration and quality and accessible health care for America's veterans. Our resolutions to Congress have warned of downsizing our national defense, creating a hollow military. Our organization courageously and boldly stood up, calling for change to the VA healthcare system. These challenges to our defense and veterans' pillars will not be resolved overnight. As Legionnaires, we must keep America focused on these and other veterans' issues and concerns. But Mike Helms is well versed in these issues, and he will carry our messages forward loud and clear. Under Mike Helms' leadership, the American Legion will stay the course, serving America and serving veterans as our founders mandated us 95 years ago. My fellow Legionnaires, as a delegate to this convention, it is my privilege and honor to second the nomination of a true American, of a Legionnaire and a friend, for National Commander of the American Legion, Michael D. Helm from the Department of Nebraska.
The adjutant.
Arkansas. Here. California.
Right. California, the great Golden State, home of past National Commander Bruce Stason, home of past President Nancy Brown Parks, cast all our delegation votes for the next National Commander, Mike Helm.
Colorado.
Commander Frank McCurdy, I'm acting delegate chair from Colorado. You know, Colorado rocks, and so does Mike Helms. So we vote our entire delegate strength toward Mike Helms for national commander.
Connecticut.
Mr. Commander, Bob Murray, Department Commander and Delegation Chairman for the state of Connecticut, home of Sikorsky helicopters and electric boat submarines and the Yukon Huskies. We cast all of our delegate votes for Mike Helm.
Delaware.
John Endress, Delegation Chairman for the small but generous state of Delaware. I affirm the nomination of Mike Helms for the high office of National Commander.
District of Columbia.
Warren Coffey from our nation's capital, second the motion for Mike Helms as commander.
Florida.
Mr. Chairman, Art Schwabe, Delegate Chairman for the state of Florida, home of the Snowbirds, casts his vote for Mike Helm.
France.
Mr. Adjutant, H. Omby, Delegate to the 96th Convention from the Department of France, the true home of the American Legion, cast all 9 votes for Mike Helm.
Georgia.
Mr. Adjutant, Randy Goodman, Delegation Chairman from the great state of Georgia, cast all 56 votes for Mike Helm for the high office of National Commander.
Hawaii.
Marvin Siegfried, Delegation Chairman from the Aloha State of Hawaii, proudly seconds the nomination of Mike Helm as our next National Commander.
Idaho.
Ron Adams, Delegation Chairman from Idaho, famous for potatoes and supporting our veterans with our annual food convoys. Idaho truly is what America was. Cast all our votes for Mike Helm.
Illinois.
Illinois, the state of Illinois, second the nomination for Mike Helm for National Commander.
Indiana.
Ken Hilton from Indianapolis. We cast all votes for Mike Helm for the National Commander. Thank you.
Iowa.
Jim Demarest, Delegation Chairman from the Tall Corn State of Iowa, proudly casts all our votes for friend, neighbor, and next National Commander, Mike Helm.
Kansas.
Gaylord Sandeman, Delegation Chairman from the great state of Kansas, cast all of our votes for Mike Helm.
Kentucky.
Marty Goley, Commander and Delegation Chairman from the great state of Kentucky for the home of the 2017 National Convention and the home of the University Wildcats, second the nomination for Mike Helms for National Commander.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Delegation Chairman Jim Jackson cast 33 votes for Matt Helm, Department Guard National Commander.
Maine.
John Hargraves, Delegation Chairman from the great state of Maine, proudly seconds the nomination of Mike Helm as National Commander.
Maryland.
Carolyn Baker, Commander and Delegation Chairman. The great state of Maryland cast its 68 delegate votes for Mike Helms and we invite everybody to Baltimore for the 2015 National Convention to be held in Maryland next year. We look forward to seeing you.
Massachusetts.
Louis Broke, Senior Vice Commander with Chairman Charles Towers, great state, home of past National Commander Paul Moore and Jake Comer. Second the motion for Mike Helms for National Commander.
Mexico.
Michael D. Wood, Department of Mexico. We cast all our votes for Michael D. Helm.
Michigan.
Jim Wallace, Commander of Great Lakes State of Michigan, home of past National Commander Tom Cadmus, votes his entire delegate strength for Mike Helms.
Minnesota.
Minnesota proudly seconds the nomination of Mike Helm.
Mississippi.
Robert Gold of the NEC from Mississippi, the hospitality state, proudly seconds the motion for Mike Helms as the National Commander. Thank you.
Missouri.
Tom Gooden, Delegation Chairman for the great state of Missouri, the Show Me State, home of 6-star General Black Jack Persing and 5-star General Omar Bradley, seconds the nomination of Mike Helms.
Montana.
Dick Elwine, Delegation Chairman for Montana, the Big Sky Country. Montana casts all their votes for Mike Helm for National Commander.
Nevada.
Ron Mahalski, NEC, Nevada, Department of Nevada casts all delegate votes for new National Commander Michael Helms.
New Hampshire.
Maurice Anderson, Department of New Hampshire, the Live Free and Die State. We proudly cast our delegation strength for Mike Helms for the National Commander.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, home of the baseball, American Legion World Champions, cast all its votes for Mark Helm.
New Mexico.
Robert Jaramillo, Delegation Chairman for the state of New Mexico. We cast all our votes for Mike Helm.
New York.
Mr. Commander, Ken Governor, Chairman of Delegation of the Great Department of New York. Mr. Commander, New York unanimously and enthusiastically seconds the nomination.
North Carolina.
E.C. Toppin, North Carolina, home of the two great Legionnaires, Ray G. Smith, Jerry D. Hendricks, home of the American Legion Baseball World Series, cast all 53 votes for Mike Helms.
North Dakota.
Don Webley, Department Commander, North Dakota, home of past National Commander H.F. Sparky Gerke, cast all our delegate votes for Michael Helm. Thank you.
Ohio.
Jeff Kaufman, Delegation Chairman for the Department of Ohio, proudly casts all our votes for Michael D. Mike Helms for National Commander.
Pennsylvania.
Denny Oz from the great Department of Pennsylvania, with the highest delegate count, casts all 188 delegate votes to Mike Helms.
Philippines.
Herbert Skolton, Delegation Chairman, Department of the Philippines. We unanimously cast our votes for Michael D. Helm.
Puerto Rico.
And your Honor Vice President of the delegation and State Commander, we second the motion and heartily give all our delegation votes to Mike Helm for National Commander.
Rhode Island.
Leonard Reed, Commander, Rhode Island. We cast all our 12 votes to Michael Helms for National Commander.
South Carolina.
The great state of South Carolina cast 31 votes for Mike Helms.
Tennessee.
Mr. Chairman, Bob Hensley, Delegate Chairman from the great state of Tennessee, the volunteer state, home of the Vols and the Lady Vols, cast all its 37 votes for candidate Mike Helm.
Texas.
Jim Fleming, Delegate Chairman for the great state of Texas, home of past Commander John Breeden, cast all votes for Mike Helm.
Utah.
Dennis Wagner, Vice Commander, great state of Utah, home of our legendary William E. Christopherson, National Executiveman for 51 years. We cast our vote for Michael D. Helm.
Vermont.
Richard Gray, Commander and Chairman, Delegation Chairman from Green Mountain State, home of Ben & Jerry's and Green Mountain Coffee. We proudly cast all our votes for Michael Helm for National Commander.
Virginia.
Mr. Adjutant, Lyndon Dixon, Chairman of the Delegation from Virginia. We proudly cast all of our delegate strength for Mike Helm.
Washington.
Mr. Adjutant, the great state of Washington, the evergreen state, the real Washington, home of the Seattle Seahawks, proudly casts our entire delegate strength of 39 votes for Mike Helm.
West Virginia.
Mr. Chairman, Fred Buchanan, Delegate Chairman of the great state, almost heaven, West by God, Virginia, home of Miles Zeppelin, past National Commander, the Marshall University Thundering Herd, and the West Virginia Mountaineers, proudly cast its entire delegate strength for Mike Helms.
Wisconsin.
Mr. Adjutant, Bob Chappelle, Delegation Chairman, Department of Wisconsin. The mighty Cheeseheads of Wisconsin, home of the greatest football team in the National Football League, cast all 70 ballots for Mike Helm.
Wyoming.
Doug Gehrig, Chairman of the delegation from Wyoming, is proud to second the nomination for Mike Helm for National Commander.
Mr. Commander, all departments in good standing are present.
I now will recognize from the floor microphone number 1.
Mr. Commander, Susan Rumsey, delegate from New York. Mr. Commander, in view of the fact that there is but one candidate for National Commander, I move that we suspend the rules of this convention, close nominations, and that the National Adjutant be authorized to cast one vote for the entire delegate strength of this convention, and that Michael D. Helm be elected National Commander by acclamation. I will now make the first motion. Mr. Commander, I move that we suspend the rules of this convention pertaining to the election of National Commander and the nomination and election of the National Vice Commanders, which rules shall be reinstated at the conclusion of the election for National Vice Commanders.
There is a motion before us to suspend the rules of this convention pertaining to the election of National Commander and the nomination and election of National Vice Commanders, which rules will be automatically reinstated at the conclusion of the election of the National Vice Commanders. Is there a second? Hearing a second, this motion is non-debatable and requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. Motion carries. I now recognize from the floor microphone number 2.
Mr. Commander, Paul Martell, delegate from the Department of Florida and home of past National Clarence Hill. Mr. Commander, I move that the nominations for the National Commander be closed.
We have a motion that nominations for the office of National Commander be closed. Is there a second? Hearing a second, the motion to close nominations is a non-debatable motion and requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. I now recognize from the floor microphone number 1.
Mr. Commander, I'm Mark Shreve, a delegate from the great state of Georgia. Mr. Commander, I move that the National Adjutant be authorized to cast one vote representing the entire delegate strength of this convention, and that Michael D. Helm be elected National Commander by acclamation.
Is there a second? Hearing a second, there is a motion before us that the National Adjutant be authorized to cast one vote representing the entire delegate strength of this convention, and Michael D. Helm be elected National Commander by acclamation. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. I now call on the National Adjutant.
Mr. Commander, as National Adjutant, I cast one vote representing the entire delegate strength of this convention for the election of Michael D. Helm as the National Commander of the American Legion.
I declare Michael D. Helm elected National Commander of the American Legion.